What if everything you've been told about money is only half the truth? What if money is not the villain of your story, but the tool you were never taught how to use? Right now, someone is winning the money game, and someone else is working harder than ever, but falling further behind. The difference is not luck, it's not talent, it's not where they were born, it's the rules they know and the action they take. The real question is this: are you playing the game or just watching from the sidelines?
In a little town where the street lights blinked like sleepy fireflies, there lived a young woman named Judith. Judith was kind. Judith was smart. Judith worked hard. But Judith also carried something heavy, something you couldn't see in her hands. It was worry. Not the "oops, I forgot my homework" kind of worry. This was the big kind of worry, the kind that sits on your chest like a wet blanket and whispers at night. What if you don't have enough? One rainy evening, Judith walked past the window of a shiny bank. Behind the glass, gold coins were stacked like tiny towers, glowing under bright lights. On the bank's screen, a famous quote appeared: "The love of money is the root of all evil." Judith stopped and frowned. "So money is bad?" she whispered. A gentle voice answered from behind her. "Money isn't bad." Judith turned and saw an old man sitting under a bus stop roof. He wore a warm coat, a soft hat, and a smile that looked like it had helped many people. He held a small umbrella like it was a cane. Judith blinked. "Who are you?" "Some people call me Mr. Cedar," he said. "I teach things most folks don't learn until it's too late." Judith looked back at the glowing coins. "But everyone says money causes trouble." Mr. Cedar nodded slowly. "Listen closely. Money is like a hammer. In the right hands, it can build a home. In the wrong hands, it can break a window." Judith stared. "Money isn't the problem," Mr. Cedar continued. "The problem is when someone loves money so much that it controls them, like a puppet with strings." Judith imagined a person dancing around, pulled by invisible string hands shaped like gold coins. It made her shiver. Mr. Cedar leaned forward. "And here's another truth. God doesn't hate wealth, not at all. God only warns us not to let wealth own us." Judith's eyebrows rose. "Wealth can own you?" "Oh yes," Mr. Cedar said. "When money becomes your boss, your heart gets smaller. You start to step on others just to climb higher." Judith looked down at her shoes. "I don't want that." "Good," said Mr. Cedar, "because money can also be a tool for freedom, and sometimes not having it can hurt your future more than having it." Judith swallowed. She thought about the times she couldn't help her mom with bills, the times she said no to school programs because they cost too much, the times she felt stuck. Maybe money wasn't evil. Maybe she just didn't understand it. The next day, Judith went to work at her desk job. She typed, answered emails, and watched the clock like it was a bossy teacher. At lunch, she looked around the office. She saw Nina, who worked and worked and worked. Nina said, "I hope my company takes care of my retirement someday, the way a child hopes for a birthday surprise." She also saw Eddie, who sat in the break room watching videos on his phone. He said, "I just listened to a podcast about becoming rich." Then he laughed, ate chips, and scrolled again. That evening, Judith found Mr. Cedar again sitting in the same bus stop spot like he lived inside that little shelter. Judith said, "I think I'm seeing something. People act different about money." Mr. Cedar smiled. "Because we're all in a game, Judith, the money game." Judith leaned closer. "A game?" "Yes," he said, "and most people are losing because they don't know the rules." He held up one finger. "First, there's the uninformed player." Judith pictured Nina. Mr. Cedar explained, They work for money, spend it, and hope someone else, like the government or a company, will save them later. But the money game cannot be handed off like a hot potato. You can't say, "You handle it," because it's your life. Judith nodded slowly. Mr. Cedar raised a second finger. Then there's the spectator. Judith pictured Eddie. They watch, they listen, they read books. They say, "One day I'll start," but they never move. Mr. Cedar chuckled. "Have you heard the story of the 5 birds on a tree?" Judith had her head. Mr. Cedar said, "5 birds sit on a branch. 4 decide to fly. How many are left?" Judith smiled. "1?" Mr. Cedar grinned. "Nope, 5, because deciding to fly is not the same as flying."
Judith's smile faded into a thoughtful look. She had decided things before, like learning guitar, saving money, starting a side business. She had decided, but didn't always do. She looked up. "So, what kind of player am I?" Mr. Cedar's eyes were kind. "That depends. Do you want to be a passenger or a pilot?" The next weekend, Judith boarded an airplane for the first time. Her job sent her to a training event in another city. She found her seat, 14B. She buckled in and stared down the long aisle. The plane hummed like a giant sleepy beast. Judith whispered, "This is a little scary." A flight attendant smiled. "The pilots have it under control." Judith tried to relax, but her mind buzzed. Then she noticed a small open door near the front. She couldn't see much, but she caught a glimpse of the cockpit. Buttons, screens, lights, and a steady person seated at the controls. Later, when the plane landed safely, Judith couldn't stop thinking about it. That evening, she told Mr. Cedar, "I realized something on the airplane." Mr. Cedar raised an eyebrow. Judith said, "Most people live like passengers. We sit down, buckle in, and let someone else decide where we go." Mr. Cedar nodded. "Exactly." Judith continued, "At work, my boss decides when I work, when I rest, when I can take vacation, even how much I'm worth." Mr. Cedar's eyes twinkled. "That's the passenger life." Judith took a breath. "But a pilot is different." Mr. Cedar leaned in. "Tell me what you mean." Judith said, "A pilot learns the controls. A pilot understands the sky. A pilot can choose direction. A pilot doesn't wait for permission." Mr. Cedar smiled wide. "Now you're seeing it." Judith's voice softened. "I want to go to flight school." Mr. Cedar nodded like a proud teacher. "Then you must learn what pilots learn." Judith asked, "How?" Mr. Cedar said, "By finding the secret of the greats." That night, Mr. Cedar brought Judith to a small library. It smelled like paper, wood, and quiet dreams. He pointed at a wall with silhouettes of famous people: inventors, builders, leaders, creators. They all had something in common, he said. Judith tilted her head. "Talent?" "Sometimes," Mr. Cedar said, "but not always." "Luck?" Mr. Cedar shook his head. He tapped the wall gently. "Mentorship." Judith blinked. "Mentors?" Mr. Cedar nodded. "The world is full of hidden rules, especially about money. Most people never learn them, but mentors break the rule of secrecy." Judith frowned. "Rule of secrecy?" Mr. Cedar said, "Some people guard knowledge like a dragon guards treasure, but mentors share it, because mentors don't just know the way, they've walked it." Judith thought of a dark forest. A mentor would be someone holding a lantern, showing where the safe stones are, where the traps hide, where the bridge is strong. Mr. Cedar added, "Mentors are the antidote to the secrets that keep the uninformed poor." Judith looked around the library shelves like they were ladders to new skies. "So, if I get a mentor," she said slowly, "I can learn the rules?" Mr. Cedar nodded. "Yes, but you must also understand time." Judith swallowed. "Time?"
Mr. Cedar pointed toward a big clock on the wall. "The money game," he said, "is played in 4 quarters." The clock face in the library suddenly seemed larger, like it was listening. Mr. Cedar spoke carefully, like his words were stepping stones. "First quarter, ages 25 to 35. This is your time for asymmetric risk." Judith blinked. What? Mr. Cedar smiled. "It means this. You can try big things now, and if you fall, you still have time to get up." Judith imagined herself climbing a small mountain with soft grass below. Falling would hurt, but it wouldn't end her life. Mr. Cedar continued. "Second and third quarters, life gets heavier. Family, bills, responsibilities. People need you. Your choices affect others." Judith pictured carrying groceries, helping kids with homework, fixing a leaking sink, paying rent. Life could be beautiful, but busy. "The fourth quarter, after 65, Mr. Cedar said gently. "You're in injury time. You can still win, but the clock is ticking." Judith's chest tightened. She thought of older people working with tired hands, saying, "I'll rest someday," but someday never came. Mr. Cedar softened his voice. "Judith, this is not to scare you. This is to wake you up." Judith nodded. Mr. Cedar took a deep breath. "Now let me tell you one of the biggest misunderstandings in the whole money game." Judith leaned forward. Mr. Cedar said, "Most people aim to be rich when they should aim to be wealthy." Mr. Cedar led Judith outside. Near the library, a shiny sports car was parked, reflecting the streetlights like a jewel. A man stood beside it, wearing a bright watch and a proud grin. He talked loudly on his phone, showing off. Judith whispered, "Wow." Mr. Cedar said quietly, "That might be rich." Then he pointed across the street. A family walked along the sidewalk together. They weren't flashy. They laughed, holding hands, moving slowly like they had nowhere urgent to be. Mr. Cedar said, "That might be wealthy." Judith frowned. "What's the difference?" Mr. Cedar said, "Rich people often have golden handcuffs." Judith gasped. "Handcuffs?" He nodded. "High income, fancy things, but if they stop working, the money stops. Their lifestyle owns them. Their job owns them." Judith imagined shiny bracelets on someone's wrists, heavy and pretty, but still locking them in place. Mr. Cedar continued, "Wealthy people have freedom and control. Their money comes from things that earn even while they sleep, like businesses, investments, skills that scale, and systems that run." Judith imagined a small windmill turning in a field. Even at night, the wind could keep it moving. Mr. Cedar said, "Wealth is also transferable. It can help your children and your children's children." Judith stared at the family walking. She saw something in them that the man by the car didn't have. Peace. Judith whispered, "I don't want golden handcuffs." Mr. Cedar nodded. "Then it's time for you to choose." The next morning, Judith walked to a park. A tall tree stood at the edge of a hill, branches reaching toward a bright horizon. On one branch sat a little bird. It looked around, nervous. Judith sat on a bench and watched it. The bird hopped once, then twice, then opened its wings. It hesitated. Judith held her breath. Then the bird pushed off. It wobbled in the air for a second, like it might fall, then caught the wind and soared. Judith felt her eyes sting with tears. She whispered, "Fly." Mr. Cedar's voice came from behind her. That bird did not learn to fly by watching videos about flying. Judith laughed softly through her tears. Mr. Cedar sat beside her. "Now listen, your environment does not have to define you." Judith nodded, thinking of people who grew up with very little but still built beautiful lives. Mr. Cedar continued, "Someone can start in the poorest place and still learn the rules, still gain skills, still win the game." Judith looked at her hands.
Mr. Cedar said, "Cover your blind spots. Get a mentor. Start your financial education." Judith took a deep breath. "Today." Mr. Cedar's eyes brightened. "Good." Judith pulled out a notebook. On the first page, she wrote, "Flight School Plan." 1. Learn one money rule every day. 2. Track my spending like a pilot checks fuel. 3. Build a skill that can grow income. 4. Find a mentor who has done what I want to do. 5. Take one action within 24 hours. She looked up. Within 24 hours? Mr. Cedar nodded. Don't just watch a story about change. Be the change. Judith stood, feeling lighter than she had in years. That afternoon, still within 24 hours, Judith did 3 things. She signed up for a free financial class online, she asked a successful woman at her company if she could learn from her, and she started a small savings plan, even if it was just a little. That night, Judith stared out her window at the moon. For the first time, she didn't feel like a passenger. She felt like someone walking toward the cockpit. She whispered, "I'm going to fly." And somewhere in the quiet, it felt like the world whispered back, "Then spread your wings."
You don't have to stay a passenger in your own life. You don't have to wear golden handcuffs. You don't have to wait for someone else to rescue your future. You can choose to learn. You can choose to act. You can choose to fly. But remember, deciding to fly is not the same as flying. So, within the next 24 hours, take one step, read one page, call one mentor, start one plan, make one move. Because the money game is being played every single day, and it's time for you to win on your own terms. Take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe to the channel so you'll be the first to see our new videos every week. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.